Tonight on the chill stream, we go deeper down the rabbit hole than we've ever gone before. You understand why Bitcoin was designed to destroy fiat. And we got memes. We have such subversive memes. That and so much more coming back in 2 minutes on the chill stream. Everybody, welcome back to the chill stream. It is Monday, July 3rd, 2023. Usually my day off, but they called me and said, we got a local job. You don't have to leave the state. Do you want to work on your day off in 95-degree weather with no air conditioning? And I said, yes. Not really because I wanted to, but I could use the extra fiat. And to be honest, my only plan for the day was to get a haircut. And the barbershop was closed. The barber decided they were taking 2 days off for Independence Day. So I worked, but it was like a half a day, short thing. And, that generally was pretty easy all in all. All right, so, man, we've had so much stuff happen in the last couple weeks. There's so many things going on, a lot of moving parts. As of I think just before I checked the show, the price of Bitcoin is about 31,000 and change-ish. So up like 15% in the last 2 weeks, up 100% for the year. And that matters more than you think it does, because one of the things I've heard, and you've heard it 100 times, but and I thought of this earlier today. Everyone's calling for unity. Oh, we've got to have unity. We need to unify. If we want to solve our problems, we've got to unify. Oh, unity, sweet unity, please save us from whatever, fate is awaiting you. Well, the only unity you're going to have, the only unity there really is in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's up 100% for the year, like I just said. Okay, so Michael Saylor, who owns 140,000 Bitcoins, has doubled his money this year. But so did I, and so did you if you hold Bitcoin. So if you had, on January 1st, if you had $5 worth of Bitcoin, you now have $10 worth of Bitcoin. If you had $5,000 worth of Bitcoin, you have $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. And if you had $5 million worth of Bitcoin, you now have $10 million. So what unifies all of us, regardless of the size of your stack, is that everybody gets the same amount of the reward at the same time. That's as close to unity as you're ever going to get. Now, you could say, oh, really, it doesn't make me happy when I think about Michael Saylor having all this and I don't have that much. Well, it should put you in a position of saying, what can I do to get more of this, right? That's where it should lead you, because once the world shifts away from dirty fiat, once the US dollar hyperinflates, and you know that's what it's going to do, there's no way to stop the money printer. There's nothing. What will stop? Who will stop the money printer? When will the guys, running the printer stop? What will make them stop? That's not an empty rhetorical question. What political party will it be? Tulsi Gabbard? Will it be RFK Jr.? Will it be Donald Trump come riding out of the sunset, riding on his golden escalator to save us, even though he didn't do it last time, right? I don't know what fantasy you think is gonna fix things, but all problems stem from the money printer, wealth inequality, and all the social frictions that come from that, all stem from the money printer, and no one's going to shut that printer off. Okay, the only way that printer gets shut off is if nobody wants that stuff anymore. Oh, by the way, Virgil Doc Purple Heart, welcome to the show, sir. Saw you in the chat. That's not an empty rhetorical question. It's not a question that is a meaningless, unimportant question. The reason why I insult this audience and I go, you're a bunch of homosexual communists who deserve to die starving and homeless, and that really is probably the majority of my audience. I mean, I really do this show for maybe 6 people, and myself, but and theoretically, posterity, that people in the future will know how crazy we were. But all kidding aside, if you don't imagine a future where you have to create value in order to receive something of value, right? Essentially, that puts you in the parasite class. Most of the people that are disgruntled just wish they were at the top of the chain of parasites, not at the bottom of the chain. You know what I mean? At the bottom of the bottom level of parasitism is welfare, Section 8, EBT, SNAP, whatever. That's like 55–60% of blacks in America. That's maybe 35 or 40% of Latinos in America. And I don't know, maybe 10% of whites. You know what I mean? But that 10% of whites, because whites are a much larger group, numerically is greater than the 2 below it. So people using dishonest statistics can go, well, there's more white people on welfare than there are anyone else. Yeah, but there's 7 times as many white people in the country. So the parasite class at the bottom draws from the productive class, and the parasite class at the top, which create nothing. The Larry Finks, what did he do? He bundled together a group of debtors, car loans, mortgages, etc., monetized them, monetized your debt slavery or the debt slavery of strangers, and rode that to fame and fortune. He created nothing of value, right? Just a bunch of paper which obliges people to pay back money for things that are of dubious value. So there's parasites at the top, and they have, that's the real problem we're going to take care of. There's also parasites at the bottom. And what Bitcoin really is, with its proof of work model, that you must, if you're going to exchange this stuff back and forth, you have to agree with everyone else. That's unity, right? And the way you obtain this, the way you obtain Bitcoin is you're going to have to do something useful for other people, something useful, produce a good, perform a service, whatever, I don't know. And that this model is so antithetical to the current global system, right? All the corrupt regimes in Sri Lanka, in Lebanon, in Argentina, in Venezuela, they've all collapsed. Their money's all worthless. They have an underground or a black economy of dollars. You know what I mean? Anything that's not bolivars or pesos or rupiah or whatever it is they're using. So the dollar, this alleviates the pressure on the U.S. because everyone wants dollars, and the dollar appears much stronger but the dollar is only this. The dollar is the best of a bad bunch, and the dollar will die. And the reason why the dollar will die is because it just does not stop fucking printing. It just won't stop printing. And the implications of that for you and your future are profound, are really profound. The sports ball guy I talk about on occasion, I told him about Marathon Digital. I gave him the ticker symbol. I said, hey, these guys, they use the flare gas, blah, 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 mine Bitcoin, da, 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 da. And he goes, wow, that's pretty interesting. And this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then last week he shot me a message. He said, you know what? I jumped on that stock. So Marathon Digital is like, I don't know, $15 or $16 right now. So he jumped on it at like 11, and now it's at 15. And he's thinking, whoa, this is great. Let me cash out and leave. And today he screenshotted me something from some newsletter he gets. And the newsletter was like, you need to buy Mara. You need to buy Marathon Digital because this stock is going to be worth $100 as the Bitcoin price goes up and blah, 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 blah. And this was some newsletter this guy gets that he pays for. He says, I've made a ton of money with this guy over the last few years. And he's saying what you said 3 weeks ago. And this guy's still a normie, and people still have that fiat mindset. What Bitcoin's going to do for me, right? What this little thing is going to do for me, I'm going to take real money, trade it for this, and hold this for a little while, and then I'm going to get rid of this and go back to real money. And you have it wrong. Bitcoin was designed to destroy fiat. It was purpose built to destroy fiat. And Bitcoin is at war with every fiat currency around the globe at once. And all the communists and all the parasites who are just trying to scheme how they can get to the top, and that's probably most of my audience. You just whine and cry, oh, why wouldn't you just give me a fucking suitcase full of $100 bills and let me criticize the Communist Party? Then I'll be happy. Well, no one's going to give you that, Skippy. No one's going to hand that to you. You know what I mean? That gift is for a very, very small number of people, and they really only get the suitcase full of money. They don't get to openly criticize. They don't get to openly criticize the people in power. You know what I mean? Because if you do that, you're going to be finished, right? Bitcoin's designed to destroy the parasites, and we are at war with the parasites. And that is something, if you think your life is meaningless or you were born in the wrong time of history, you are entirely wrong. You were born at the most exciting time in history. The idea of money that can't be confiscated and can't be stolen from you via inflation by the government is so radical and so different. You can't understand what the changes it's going to make. None of us can. A lot of us are really trying to think outside the box, but it's hard to know what changes are going to take place once the parasites are all gone, and they will be gone. When there's no more money to fund when no one wants those pieces of paper, when US dollars are like Venezuelan dollars, just piled in the street like trash, what power will these people have? What power will the money printer have? The money printer will have exhausted itself. Now, that's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to take a few more years, and Bitcoin's going to grow in the meantime. And one of the things that I thought of, I frequently mentioned combat sports, boxing, MMA, stuff like that. You see Mark Zuckerberg, he's making himself look like he's an MMA bro. He's a popular guy, a regular Joe. He does, jujitsu and shit like that. And of course, it's all completely scripted because they're going to make him president of the United States. They're going to try. Again, not this cycle, but do not be surprised if Herr Zuckerberg runs for prime minister. Do not be surprised, because that is most definitely 100% happen. But the thing is, in combat sports, when you watch fights, oftentimes there's a moment where you can't really, like the two fighters are really just wailing away at each other. a lot of exchange of blows, and there's a moment where the initiative shifts. Like the fight, one guy starts to lose the fight, although it's not obvious. And it becomes more obvious when you realize that guy number one has changed what he's doing, and it's not helping. Okay, there's an axiom in war that whomever adapts to change fastest wins. Not whoever notices the change fastest. Not whoever writes a sophisticated, nuanced critique of the change fastest. It's whoever adapts to the change fastest wins. And when you have, it's relatively easy to see in a boxing match, because at one point you go, you know, even the guys doing color commentary, like, you know, oh, this guy won that round, he won the next round, he won the last 3 rounds. You can tell the momentum of the fight shift. You say, well, what the fuck does that have to do with Bitcoin and the US dollar? Well, as I played videos in the past, if they could kill Bitcoin, they would have killed Bitcoin. They would never have let it get this far. They would never let it get to $500 billion worth of value. Okay, they just wouldn't. They would have killed it in its cradle, but they couldn't do it. It had too much time in the shadows to grow and get strong, and now they can't kill it. So what are they doing now? BlackRock and Fidelity and all these other Deutsche Bank, oh, we're going to file an ETF. We're going to file an ETF. We're going to file an ETF. And they're all creating these on-ramps to Bitcoin, right? It's no longer terrorist money. It's no longer the index of money laundering. It's no longer drug dealing money. It's official, you know, you can put your mom's boomer retirement, and you can trust that to Fidelity Investments because they wouldn't sell her junk, right? Wall Street has changed its tactics because crushing Bitcoin didn't work. Stopping Bitcoin didn't work. So now they're going to try to co-opt it. They're like, yeah, it's something like a stock or it's like gold. We can get on top of this. We can control it. We can control people's access to it. And we can make this thing work for us. But they don't understand Bitcoin was designed to destroy them. And Bitcoin will destroy them. You can join the war on the right side, or you can come in on the wrong side, or you can wait on the sidelines, hoping that, I don't know, something falls into your lap. But got to tell you, it is absolutely a war, right? And even our memes, I was talking about memes earlier. I got memes. We got all kinds of memes. We got like 3 new memes tonight. The first meme I'm going to show you, what is it? 1 minute 56 seconds. This is going to be the completion of the Bitcoin matrix meme. I think it's the completion. At least it's part 2. Part 2 of the Bitcoin matrix meme with the one and only Keanu Reeves.
He is the one.
I particularly like that one. But exactly everything I said, right? All of the charges they leveled at it, drug money, terrorists, blah 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 blah, and that's all stopped, right? Just like that meme, boom, done. It's over, right? Now the battle starts. Now the war starts between Bitcoin and the U.S. dollar, and whether or not you see it that way, that's what's actually happening. Okay, and so the great thing about Bitcoiners is one, I think that meme is like it's years old. It's not that wasn't made in the last 6 months. That's a couple of years old. But we correctly anticipate what is going to happen, and that's the key to winning any conflict, right? Correctly anticipating what your enemy is going to do, you can counter it, right? You can not be there. You can hit them first. You can deflect. You can do something, right? But if you cannot correctly anticipate what's going to happen next, then you're going to be firing at random, and all of your efforts will be in vain. The masters of fiat, the money printer people, okay, the central bankers, okay, they did not anticipate something like Bitcoin working. It was outside their ability to understand. And Bitcoin started to work, you know, in some corner of the internet that nobody was aware of. It used to be something that they gave away for free. You used to be able to send your send me your email and I'll email you 5 Bitcoins. And then you can use them in my online casino. That's what they did. They used to do that. They used to give away free Bitcoin, right? And you go like, wait a minute. They used to give this stuff away for free, and now it costs $31,000 for 1 Bitcoin. How much is 31,000 US dollars? That's more than most people on the planet Earth make. Okay. And in terms of like the average salary in the United States, I think the average salary in the United States is like $49,000. So like 2/3 of a year's salary is what it costs to get 1 Bitcoin. And it's only going to go higher from here. 1 Bitcoin is so far out of most people's reach that, you know, once people realize how scarce this thing is, once the rich people realize how scarce this is, and they're starting to figure that out, you're going to see Bitcoin versus the US dollar is going to spin people's heads around. And that's the war for the hearts and minds of the planet Earth. The war for the hearts and minds of the entire planet is Bitcoin versus fiat. Their corrupt system, where they help themselves to all the best and leave you crumbs and tell you should be grateful to that, or a system where everyone is unified. If Bitcoin goes up 10% for Michael Saylor, Bitcoin goes up 10% for you. If he gets 10% richer, you get 10% richer at the same time. He doesn't get it a week before you. He doesn't get it 1 second before. There's an equality here and a unity here that has previously not existed ever on the face of this earth, ever in any civilization. It's the idea behind it is so radically different to anything else you've ever thought of. You just have trouble accepting it, okay? But once you do accept it, once you take the orange pill, then the world doesn't look the same at all. You understand we're at war. I understand I'm at war. My goal in my life, the main goal I have in my life, is to destroy the Federal Reserve note. I want the complete and utter destruction of the Federal Reserve note. And I work at that every fucking day. Okay? My entire life, all the taxes I paid, I go to the supermarket and I see some motherfucker pay for all their groceries with EBT. I'll never get EBT. No one in my family will ever get fucking EBT. Nobody who looks like me gets EBT, right? But money gets taken from my taxes to give to someone else, to give to some parasite right next to me, right? Who looks down their nose or thinks I'm a fucking chump because you stupid Americans can't figure out how to get free shit. They don't even understand the role that they're playing. The role that they're playing is millstone around my fucking neck. And when you understand that that's the way it's been your entire life, it's going to put you in kind of a bad mood. It puts me in kind of a bad mood. And Yeah, I want revenge. I want to hurt the people who fucking stolen from me every day of my life. That's what I want. I really want to fucking hurt them. I want to burn it all fucking down. Okay. And all the parasites inside it. That's what I want. And that's what Bitcoin's going to give me. Okay. And that's what Bitcoin is going to give everybody. When you see that Matrix meme, right? You go, oh, that's cute. Look, they put the little thing there, and then they, the Canoe Reeves, and they did with the special effects. But it's very sly and it's very subversive. Okay. The Matrix film, all these Hollywood films, I got two more I'm going to show you. The subversive nature of how we think and how we communicate. Okay. Everyone knows the Matrix movie. If you've seen it, right? The roller coaster of emotions that Hollywood takes you on, the way it writes the screenplay and the narrative and the special effects, and now you're frightened, and now you're excited, and now you're wondering, right? All of those emotions are still there with that clip, except now your brain's getting a message. Your brain's getting a Bitcoin message, a pro-Bitcoin message, and an anti-USD message, an anti-Federal Reserve message, an anti-US government message. That's really, really subversive. We hook into something that already exists, that you have experience with, and then we reprogram it. We rewire it. Like Marathon Digital takes something that they already existed for them, waste gas, waste what is it? What natural gas that's a waste byproduct of oil extraction, and they turned it into Bitcoin, right? They repurposed something that has been laying there for a while. And that's what these memes do. And when people see them, they smile. I was in the dentist last week. I got to go fucking Thursday. Apparently I have some kind of fucking thing in my, some bacteria in my, on this side of my fucking jaw that's eating the bone in my fucking, they're like, hey, is that tooth loose? Like, do you have any pain? I'm like, no, not really. But there's some kind of super bacteria that I gotta go. They gotta scrape it, and then they gotta squirt some kind of special antibiotic that turns into a gel and sits there. And then I have to make sure not to use dental floss for 7 days. And that way, I don't know, I won't lose any more bone. I won't lose the tooth. But I didn't even know I had that. I had no pain and no discomfort. But okay, so shit happens. I'm in the dentist's office, chatting with the girl behind the desk. Oh, well, not a girl. She's I don't know, middle-aged female. And they're like, oh, you have to renew your yearly program with us, blah, 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 blah. 2 visits, da, 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 da. They said, do you want to pay by check or do you want to pay by credit card? So I give my credit card. So that's my super duper credit card. And she looked at it. She said, oh, yeah, it has no numbers. I said, it isn't just that it has no numbers. I said, I spend US dollars and I get rewards in Bitcoin. And she went, really? She like looked at, she went, really? She goes, I said, do you know anything about Bitcoin? She says, yeah, I do. And so we started chatting. She's a Bitcoiner. I said, listen, everyone alive today grew up in a world of the US dollar. US dollar was king. Everything was dollar denominated, you know, and they cannot imagine a world where the dollar is not king. I said, but all fiat currencies go to zero. And she's like, yep, yep, yep. And I'm like, I'm chatting with her. I'm like, holy shit, this chick's a Bitcoiner. And so I was talking with her, and I said, have you seen the memes? I said, you got to know about the memes. She's like, no, I don't know about it. I said, you haven't seen the memes? And she's like, no. I said, oh, I'm going to show you some. Now, this is a dangerous thing. Judas Fly Chai, shalom from Los Angeles, Mr. Fly Chai. Shalom, welcome to the show, sir. But this dental office chick she was like, no, like, she goes, I didn't know they had memes. I'm like, okay, she's like a little bit of a boomer, a little bit out of it. But here's a meme that you will all know, you will all remember. This is, again, something along the lines of violence. This is why I say Bitcoin is at war with dirty fiat, and we're going to win. So 2 minutes, 19 seconds. You're going to remember this. You're going to smile. You're going to like this. Here we go.
Hey, you're not Get down.
Did you see when he came out of the flame, the printer guy was in the corner just above his shoulder? Bitcoiners make memes like this. They take these super popular films, right? That that made hundreds of millions of dollars. Hollywood, which is the megaphone, right, for propaganda and directing the culture, and they're just repurposing it. We're just taking it over from them. Once you will never look at the Terminator movies ever again the same way. If you happen to watch the Matrix movie again, you're gonna go, oh yeah, there was a thing where the bullets fell out of the air. That's when and Keanu Reeves fought the guy. The Bitcoin thing's gonna come back, right? That's what you're gonna remember. Wow, the chat's going well. Judas Flychai must have had a well, no, it was somebody else's here. Suitcase Stories. Well, welcome to the show, Suitcase Stories. Judas Flychai, that T2 kid got fucked too. Oh man. Judas Flychai, always with the questions in the chat, always trying to learn. That's noble. Dear James, this is very formal, by the way. It should be Dear STFU James. Just, I mean, I mean to correct you. I know I say I'm not a school teacher, but proper grammar, sir, would be Dear STFU James. Why are people like Dennis Prager and Jordan Peterson so pro-religious when they are not really religious themselves? Well, they're doing what their paymasters tell them to do. The people who control the world, and this is a world of flesh and blood, control the world with money. But if you think about money, if you think about monetary systems and, you know, inflation, and if you start to educate yourself, then you're going to have questions for them. Then you're going to be pushing back against everything they say and do, and they don't want that. So they would prefer you to sort of spin your wheels with religion. Now, everybody knows I'm not a religious guy, but I don't particularly mind religious people. As long as you don't force it on me, I don't care I almost don't care what you do, right? Generally, I grew up in the United States, which is at least a nominally Christian culture, and it was pretty free and pretty easy to get along. There were no super obligations. Whatever your personal belief system is, if it guides your behavior, if it guides your behavior in a way that you're proud of your life, you're proud of what you do and who you are, great. You know what I mean? That's fine. I have no problem with that. But you do have to live in this real world. And the Jordan Petersons and the Andrew Tates and Dennis Prager are designed to corral people into these dead ends. You know what I mean? Dennis Prager, conservative politics, it's an absolute dead end. It's a 100% dead end. And the answers to the problems of this earth are unlikely to be found in any church. Church may help you emotionally deal with these problems, but hey, Rabbi, I can't pay my mortgage. Hey, excuse me, Mother Superior, but how do I put food on the table for my kids? They don't have that. And when you get to those questions, those brass tacks questions, that's where economics and government and politics come in, and they don't want you thinking about that. They want you thinking about Jesus or Allah or whoever, and they don't want you focused at all in any way, shape, or form on what the problems are, who's causing the problems, and what to do about it. So what else did I do? Man, I think I forgot to upload a bunch of shit. I did forgot. It doesn't make a difference. I was watching, saw a clip from Swan Bitcoin of RFK Jr., right? A bunch of people dug up stuff on him where he was saying during the Hillary versus Trump charade, oh, my friend Hillary Clinton, and I think she'll make a great president and she'll be wonderful and this and that, and I love Hillary. Well, okay, so what did Hillary do? She famously said about the invasion of Libya, we came, we saw, he died, and she cackled. It was also the big fuck up with the CIA contractor guys at Benghazi, and they made a movie about it, which was a terrible movie. But, RFK Jr. was totally pro-Hillary, who was totally pro-war. Well, there's a clip of him running around now talking about how much money was spent in the Ukraine war, and how much money was spent here, and how much money was spent there. And now all of a sudden, he's Mr. Populist, Mr. They're wasting money, printing money, and all sorts of things. And, he's going to stop it. He didn't say word one like that when Hillary was running. So it seems to me that the RFK Jr. candidacy is an attempt to steal the popular vote or the populist sentiment from Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump, I don't think has it anymore. I really don't think he has it. He has a core of supporters, but it's not. He doesn't have the 63 million he used to have. He's not really a threat. But the White House and the people behind it are going, okay, how do we neutralize the Donald Trump message so we get to stay in power and do what? The same thing that Trump would do, except your name is on the fucking check. So they say, well, we'll get RFK Jr. to be a populist, and he'll pull energy away from Trump, and that way Papa Joe Biden sails into re-election. He's going to sail into re-election anyway, because nobody gives a fuck. Nobody, and I mean fucking nobody, believes in a fucking thing that anyone's saying out of the White House ever again. That shit stopped years ago. I mean, just nobody buys it. Nobody buys it at all anymore. Everyone's looking at, what can I get out of this? I mean, and this is again where Bitcoin goes to war with fiat currency. When you see the Wall Street insiders get rich and you stay broke, that's not a good feeling. People don't like that. And once they understand that they can opt out, that they can just get out of that system, just put me in Bitcoin, and when the rich get richer, I'm going to get richer with them. That the pull of that, the magnetism of that is fucking unstoppable. And the world of fiat currency is going to have to compete for the first time against something that cannot be corrupted, cannot be shot and killed. You can't put a bomb in the fucking hull of it. You can't blow it out of the sky like the fucking Malaysian Airways flight. You got some real competition. And people can join if they have $5 or $5 million or $500,000 or whatever they have. And that they can benefit from that, that it's open to anyone and they can't stop you and they can't take your money. Yeah, that's fucking huge. That's the war that's going to happen, and that's going to change everything. And Bitcoin, like the Terminator, is not going to stop. It's just going to keep going. and keep going and keep going. How soon you get on board, how soon you realize that this is the life raft you're going to need when hyperinflation comes, I don't know. You know, like I said, the majority of this audience is a bunch of homosexual communists who were praying for unity and Adolf Hitler to come save them. You ridiculous, nonsensical people. What do we got? More comments. Is it Suitcase Man? I got to see. Comments are coming slow. I agree. Trump is less of a threat in 2020. So why the constant attack? Because they don't. Every general fights the last war. Suitcase stories. Every general fights the last war. It's what they're comfortable with. They know they can beat it. That's why during the Trump phenomenon and the resurgence of right-wing thought and the alt-right and all that stuff, they got to squash that right away. They got to paint everyone as Nazis. Nazis, the evil Nazis, and the Nazis, not the regular guys, but Hitler. Hitler was evil, and the Jews are evil at the same time. This is a bigger concept than most of you can understand. Hitler bad, Jews bad at the same time. Both of these things are equally true. Okay? You can't be not a sports ball guy. Get off my fucking screen. Can't even see what he's doing. He's DMing me during my important live stream. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I'll get back to him later. That Hitler was a bad guy, the Jews are bad guys, is not a question, but it's a bigger concept than most people can hold in their heads. But this one's the good one. That one has to be the bad one. If your mind is capable of holding slightly more, what am I looking for? Man, slightly more than one fucking idea at a time, then you'll be able to see that. What I'm looking for is, man, I can't find any fucking one. And half the shit I didn't upload anyway. Here's an example. Here's a perfect example. Okay, nice little screen, not a screen share, overlay. This is David Ben-Gurion, the leader of the Jewish terrorist organization Haganah. I don't think it's called Haganah. I think it's called Haganah. He sanctioned the bombing of the SS Patria, which is, you can see there, killing 267 people and injuring 172 more. He authorized that terrorist attack. David Ben-Gurion would go on to become Israel's first prime minister and founder a few years later. So this is what people can't figure out. Hitler bad, Jews also bad at the same time. But since the Jews won that war and they're confident they can win it again, they want to replay that again. They want a rerun. They want a sequel. You know what I mean? But they need new Nazis, right? So the CIA gets together and they get Richard Spencer and Nick Fuentes and whatever, Milo Yiannopoulos to fucking do whatever the fuck they do. Put them in front of this group, direct the group towards saying things and agreeing with these fucking retarded talking points that have nothing to do with right-wing thought or right-wing sentiment in America at all. But Richard Spencer did his job. Nick Fuentes did his job. Milo Yiannopoulos did his fucking job. They were all at one point more or less successful on social media. They were everywhere. Okay, and Jordan Peterson and David Prager, I don't think they're necessarily. Jordan Peterson certainly run from behind the scenes. Whether he knows it or not, I don't know. I mean, he cries when two rabbis came up to him on the street in New York City, like this. Trust me, Jews don't stop and say nice things to you in the middle of the street in New York City. But he's like, oh, they call me rabbi. And I had this video of him. He's crying. He's like, it's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing. Like, can you not figure out you've been set up, chump? He can't. People are weak. They like flattery. They're vain. They have egos, and they're easily led around. And that's what these guys were designed to do. So The White House is looking at Trump, you know, oh, we're going to indict him, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. That might actually feed his popularity. He's the bad boy, he's the outsider. That might feed him. But they're going to need something to draw away that energy. And the RFK going, God damn it, we've spent trillions in fucking wasteful spending on COVID lockdowns and hundreds of billions of wasteful spending in a war in Ukraine. And I'm going to put an end to that, you know, which is what Trump did. You know what I mean? He criticized George W. Bush and the war on terror. And they're like, okay, RFK, here's the role you're going to play. So, and RFK is doing it. I mean, and you know, these Bitcoin people, they all come down to Bitcoin Miami, and they're gonna talk at the conference. But you know, RFK does not own one Bitcoin. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Ted Cruz is not our guy, but he owns Bitcoin. Okay, Cynthia Lummis, the senator from Wyoming, not really our girl, but she owns Bitcoin. Tulsi Gabbard, lip service. You know, RFK, send me your Bitcoin, motherfucker. I'll send you. If I'm not sending any money to any political candidate. I would send you dirty fiat. I would send you that shit that comes out of the fucking money printer. I'm not sending you the hardest money ever created by man, right? The only money that can't be stolen from you by government. It's incredibly hard to stop or fucking confiscate. I'm not sending that to you. It's too valuable. You can have dirty fiat. You can have those green pieces of paper that say Federal Reserve note, because I really don't want them, right? I know that they're worthless paper. Okay. Judas Fleischai, Gentile cannot be a rabbi by default. I know that. But you know, Jordan Peterson is a very weak man. You know, character-wise, he hasn't had a whole lot of struggle in his life. He was some kind of college professor in Canada, and he loved fucking Lenin and shit. The most famous picture of him is not with the Canadian flag behind him, but it's a picture of like fucking Lenin leading the charge to fucking, I don't know, kill the kulaks. Lenin didn't actually lead a charge, but technically, I, Judas Fleischai, am a rabbi. Wow, I did not know that, Judas Fleischai. I did not know that you were a rabbi. Okay, the point of all this, you want to get distracted in politics. Our guy won, our guy lost. It doesn't matter. The money printer controls all of them, and always has, and always will. The Trump people, when you say, listen, the first $6 trillion of fucking stimulus was signed by Trump, they don't want to hear that. Here's this is a 17-second clip. I've shown it before, I'll show it again. But here's the question that some young people, those crazy youngsters, have been asking.
I find it absolutely hilarious when people are like, Trump versus Biden, or this person versus, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. They're not the people who make the decisions anyways. Yeah. It's the people who control the money. Yeah. And the people who control the money are the central banks. Yeah. And guess who owns the central banks? Because it's not the government.
There are people who understand, right? There are people who understand that politics is bullshit. It's you choosing your manager, right? The politicians work for the bankers, right? They manage us, our expectations, get us to go along with ESG, whatever, environmentally sound governance. Get us go along with bailouts, get us to go along with whatever. That's the job of the politicians, is to manage us and to manage our opinions to do as the elites wish. That's their job. They don't really work for you. They never did, right? Not since 1913. As soon as the Federal Reserve took over the creation of money for the United States, it was the beginning of the end. And every war since then, you could view every war America's ever had externally, the foreign, all our foreign adventures as crushing the competition for the US dollar, right? That there would be no culture and no economy that can compete with us, that can compete with the dollar, right? And when you're doing that against nation states and individuals, that you have a lot of success. This has worked really well for a really long time. especially when you're behind the scenes and you put Shabos-Goy or some useful idiots out front to manage the population that you live parasitically off of. We got more comments. Judas Fly Chai, I'm way more legit rabbi than Reb Duvid. Yeah, Duvid, my favorite punching bag. My title, Reb, is often translated as Mr., and that is true, but the only calls male Hebrew adult to learn Talmud Reb, and Reb is a Yiddish term that is derived from the word Rav, rabbi. I got some video. I don't have some absolutely sick video. I'm gonna show you next week, Mr. Fly Chai. But what do we got? Here's something. So you live in a world where you're always everything is being managed and massaged and recreated. So this is everyone knows I talked about that guy Len Olden, who's he's the Bitcoin analyst. He's a transgender Jew. This is a screenshot of I went and commented. Len Olden is one of the smartest men in the Bitcoin space, and you see it got one thumbs up. Right, one person gave it an upvote. Well, that was, I don't know how many weeks ago that was, but I'm looking at my YouTube notifications. Then I get another notification that somebody liked the post, and I go back and look at it again, right? And now look at it. It says the same exact comment. Len Olden on the same exact video. Len Olden is one of the smartest men in the Bitcoin space. It got 13 likes, not one like. It got 13 likes. And whether or not it's because I have been a pain in the ass to these people and they can't get me, I don't know how high up I am on their fucking hit list, but I think higher than I initially thought. I thought I was a nobody, but I think they made their efforts in the past to do something. Does the YouTube or the Google algorithm, when I log on and make a comment, does it read the comment and then adjust it appropriately? Probably does. I remember being on live streams with like Jonathan Pohl, and then there'd be like 17 people in the chat. But if I looked at the number of downvotes on the fucking video, it would be 38 downvotes on a fucking stream that only had 17 people on it. How is that possible? They're, and the little man behind the curtain pulling the fucking levers. And this is nonstop. That's why a show like this, that's why my constant fucking endless hammering at the same theme again and again and again is critical, because the only way for you to stay focused and win is to stay focused and win. The more you start thinking of, oh, well, you know what? I commented on this video, or I said this, I said that, and I got no feedback, or I got negative feedback. If you crave external validation, you're going to be lost. You're really going to be lost. You have to have the drive and the passion to keep doing it. Yes, Judas Fly Chai, be right back. Okay, go pray, sir. Go Baruch Hashem or whatever it is you do. Smash up the like button. Yeah, I should put that banner up. Nobody smashes up the like button anyways. Who wants to be called a homosexual communist? Very few people like to be outed like that. They don't want to be outed. But even if you come out of the closet long enough, you homosexual communist, who I hope dies, starving and homeless. But before that happens, smash up the like button. I would appreciate it. Even though, for all I know, that I might be getting like 45 likes per fucking show, but YouTube is like taking fucking 43 of them. This is the reality. Here's this was one of my favorite memes. I love this fucking meme. This one is Becky, please point to the U.S. Capitol. She points to Washington, D.C. Sorry, Becky, please take a seat. And then Jennifer points to Israel. Very good, Jennifer. That is the U.S. Capitol, right? The people you vote for are not the ones in charge, okay? They don't make the decisions, and they never did. The thing about the future, though, is this guy. You see this dude right here? You see this little frog flipping burgers at McDonald's, and he's so unhappy because he's got all these burgers and he's all by himself, working the late shift at the burger flipping joint. He's been stacking Bitcoin since fucking 2015. Okay, and this little fucker, right? This little fucker is going to be the when Bitcoin moons, and it will fucking moon. This little motherfucker is going to be the governor of your state, right? And he's not going to want to hear anything about anti-Semitism or racism or anything because he spent way too much time flipping way too many fucking burgers for the parasite class, for other people who didn't give a shit and treated him like nothing. You know, in terms of you talk about a religious worldview, the meek shall inherit the earth. Well, if the meek have Bitcoin, okay. If they don't have Bitcoin, you're just going to continue to get taken advantage of. All right, we got one more. Let's go with one more. We're coming up on an hour here. One last. This is a very new. It's only like 7 months old. 2 minute action meme. Come with me. We're gonna go. Where are we gonna go? We're gonna go into the danger zone.
Oh my God! Where the hell is this guy? Damn it! We're out of ammo. Smoke in the air! Booster flares! That was close! We're out of flares, Mav! Shit, he's already on us! Ah, this is not good! We took another hit! No. We can't take much more of this!
Pull the ejection handles the second I tell you.
Mav, wait!
Booster, there's no other way!
It's not working!
I'm sorry, guys.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your savior speaking. Please fasten your seatbelts, return your tray tables to their locked and upright positions, and prepare for landing. I'll see you back on deck.
So they did a Maverick meet. Bitcoiners are smarter, more determined, more subversive than anything they've ever dealt with before. We have what everyone wants, which is money. Okay. And if you join with us, you get richer. If you stay in the system with Wall Street and the money printer and Donald Trump or Tulsi Gabbard or whatever, you're getting poorer, and you know it. Okay. It's not widely known yet, and people don't understand how to custody their own Bitcoin, but the fucking fight is on, and we're winning, and we're going to fucking win. We're going to win the entire fucking planet. Not a state, not a country. We're winning the fucking planet. And you can be on the winning side or you can die starving and fucking homeless, and I don't give a shit. Okay. This is one last 59-second video of how far ahead of all of this we all are. We're so far ahead of the rot in this culture you can't fucking imagine. One more. This is from Swan Bitcoin.
Kids are curious about everything. They want to know about the world around them, but not all questions have easy answers.
What is money?
Great question. Managing money is an essential life skill, one that plenty of adults struggle with, let alone being able to define exactly what money is. Most people just take it for granted and don't really drill down on the subject. Bitcoiners and Bitcoiner kids and teens, however, are different.
Hi, I'm Sierra, and I'm a Bitcoin maximalist.
They read books.
These are really cool. I read them all. One is like about Bitcoin and the golden rule. That's my favorite.
The future generation of Bitcoin uses critical thinking skills.
If I put about $100 in this piggy bank 10 years ago, right now it would be worth, I don't know, maybe $70. That doesn't seem fair. It's like stealing.
When we do chores, we get paid in Satoshis, and I spend dollars and I save Bitcoin.
The future belongs to us, right? Bitcoiners are thinking beyond themselves. They're thinking to their children and their grandchildren. They're thinking of the future, and they're winning the future. When someone comes to these kids and starts telling them, oh, Bitcoin's going to boil the oceans, or if we do this, everyone's going to die, or if we do that, everyone's going to die. These kids aren't going to buy it, right? They're just not going to believe that. So the available pool of suckers to buy into these fucking fictional narratives, anti-Semitism, racism, global warming, they're all fucking 100% fiction, a complete fucking fiction, okay? I realize they clog everyone's brain. I realize this takes up so much of your fucking time and your fucking emotional energy that you can't see the world the way it really is. The way it's going to be. Because this is the most exciting time to be alive. This is when the war on the parasites begins. And we're gonna win it, and we're gonna fucking finish it. We didn't start this, but motherfucker, we're gonna finish it. Forever. Forever. That's what makes Bitcoiners different from you fucking assholes waiting for fucking Hitler or Tulsi Gabbard, whoever the fuck you think is gonna rescue you. Okay? I'm gonna drive past you while you're fucking starving and fucking homeless in a cardboard box, right? Sleeping in a mattress of fucking $100 bills, which is fucking worthless. You make that choice every day. It's not a smart choice. Once your fucking balls drop and you man up and start fucking fighting against these guys, you're going to find your life improves dramatically, and your mood and your optimism will improve dramatically because you will be on the winning side. Anyway, where are we at? We are at 1 hour and 4 minutes. And I want to thank everybody. I'll put up the like button again. Let's remind everyone before you leave, even if you come here in the rerun, make sure to smash up the like button. Make sure to smash up the like button. Make sure to smash up the like button, because really, you can't get this content anywhere else. I mean, you really can't. You think you can, but you can't. I just saw this proverb. Is a proverb coming up there? I didn't even know it existed. Think with the wise, but talk with the vulgar. Fuck if that does not describe me, your host, to a fucking T, really. But yeah, think with the wise, but talk with the vulgar. Anyway, with that, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for coming by. And I'm going to hit the outro music, and I will see you guys next week.